Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have some more updates on the whole San Jose State University saga, where they allowed a male athlete to compete on a women's volleyball team. Remember, there were various boycotts. We had at least 5 teams boycott competing against San Jose State. Some teams boycotted more than once, and it was all leading up to the Mountain West Conference. And there is a lawsuit against the Mountain West Conference as we speak, where the female volleyball players are saying that you let us down. You allowed this male athlete to compete on a team and to skew all of the results because essentially this team had an advantage over the all-female teams. And that lawsuit is ongoing. Amidst all of the boycotts and the lawsuits, something else came to light. Something very sinister came to light. A plot to hurt a female volleyball player, Brooke Slusser. It was alleged that the transgender player, Blaire Fleming, met up with Malaya Jones from Colorado State, where Malaya was going to spike the ball towards Brooke, and Blaire Fleming was not going to block. So it was a plot to inflict injury on Brooke because she spoke out. She said that despite this person being on my team, I do not agree with a male athlete competing on a women's volleyball team. I do not agree with a male athlete taking a scholarship away from a female. And she was very honest and said that she didn't even know that this person was male, that the school didn't even tell the female athletes as not to out the individual. She was sharing accommodation with this person. She was sharing hotel rooms with this person.
I mean, just the fact that I'm openly changing in front of this person, thinking that it's a woman, and I could have had the chance to take myself out of that situation and at least go to a different room or request to be switched to another room and didn't. So I got that opportunity of my choice to be taken away from me.
The school didn't seek the consent of the female athletes. The school didn't ask them if they were okay with having a male player on the team, albeit one that identifies as a woman. Okay, but the person is still male. The Mountain West Conference allowed a team with a male player to progress into the competition. They went pretty far. They lost to Colorado State in the end. The girls sought legal action. They sought an injunction, and the Mountain West Conference fought against that injunction. The investigation into the alleged plot. Did they do enough to investigate the matter, to keep Brooke up to date what was going on so that she could have peace of mind, knowing that they were doing everything to protect her? That does not seem to be the case at all. San Jose State University as well. They seem to downplay the allegations and claim that there was no evidence of an alleged plot. The publication that broke the story in the first place, they spoke to the female athletes. They spoke to Melissa Beatty-Smooth, the female coach who ended up getting suspended and then let go, simply because she filed a Title IX complaint and spoke up and said that this is not right. She was the only coach who spoke up for these girls, who defended these girls and looked out for their interests. She was the only adult in the room who did that. She also had to flee her home as there were shots fired towards her home. There was a bullet hole in her kitchen window, simply because she stood up for female athletes. So fast forward to today, we have some new information, and the athletic director has been questioned about the whole situation, but apparently he couldn't handle the questions. Former San Jose State University volleyball co-captain Brooke Slusser is 8 months removed from her final season, which included a conference investigation into an alleged plan to harm her by former teammate Blaire Fleming, a biological male transgender athlete. Slusser has now come forward with new allegations related to the matter.
Based on what I was told, exactly what one of my teammates had seen go on that night about talking about the scouting reports and leaving the net open was told to those lawyers. So that should have been sufficient evidence. And yet nothing happened. I mean, when you're going through this, these lawyers, I would pretty big chance know nothing to none about volleyball. And so I think if you were to do a good investigation on this issue, you bring in someone on from an outside source that's unbiased, that can come in, evaluate film, and understand what's truly going on, and actually dig deep into what happened that night to really get sufficient evidence of this did happen. People are telling you this happened, and it's not secondhand information. She sat there and heard that conversation between Blaire and Malaya. There is sufficient evidence, and they were told sufficient evidence.
So the athletics director is Jeff Konya. Fox News Digital interviewed him. He was asked about Brooke's claims and other details of the investigation. But Konya stood up after just around 5 minutes of related questions and walked away. "I'm done," he said.
I'd like to talk about the women's volleyball season last season.
Okay, there's not much I can say about that,
Well,
unfortunately. It's in litigation.
I understand it's in litigation. The thing about that is the side you're litigating against has spoken pretty extensively about this, right? And I would like to ask you about a couple of things that they've said, but also about a couple of things that I know happened. So last fall, the Mountain West hired the law firm Wilkie Farr and Gallagher to investigate misconduct allegations against a San Jose State volleyball player. Wilkie Farr and Gallagher was also hired by the Mountain West to defend that player's eligibility in court. Were you aware that this law firm was doing both duties?
No.
You were not aware. Have you ever been made aware?
I'm not going to answer these questions.
So the Mountain West Conference hired the third party, the independent third party, to launch an investigation into the alleged plot. But guess who they hired? They hired the law firm that defended them against the injunctions that the girls sought to challenge the eligibility of this transgender player within the conference. The law firm that has an interest in allowing men into women's sports, basically, that same law firm was hired to investigate the alleged plot against a female athlete that was alleged to have been orchestrated by a transgender player.
You helped set up the interviews for that investigation. I obtained some of those emails. And you're saying you were not aware that this law firm was...
We participated in the investigation. Mountain West hired an attorney to do it. We participated fully. They asked for a list of interviewees. We gave the list and told our coaches and student athletes that they had a desire to talk to about the investigation. And those that chose to talk with them through the investigation.
How involved were you with the investigation?
I was not interviewed.
You were not interviewed? Were you made privy to any of the information that was shared in interviews?
No.
As far as you're aware, do you know if any of the athletes corroborated the allegations against that player?
I have no idea.
Are you satisfied with the accuracy and thoroughness of how the investigation was conducted based on what you do know?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it was done professionally.
It's interesting you say it was done professionally because in communication between the parties involved in that interview, they consistently got the date of the game wrong. Were you aware of that?
No.
The investigation was concluded in just 3 days after the first emails to set up interviews were sent. Do you believe that was enough time to investigate?
I'm not going to answer any more of these questions. I don't have the sufficient details to answer these questions.
This did happen. People are telling you this happened, and it's not secondhand information. She sat there and heard that conversation between Blaire and Malaya. So to me, just from what I know, without even having to dig deep into the investigation, that there is sufficient evidence, and they were told sufficient evidence.
What do you feel about her statement?
I don't know what to feel. I wasn't party to the investigation.
So Brooke has confirmed that the lawyers, the people who were investigating, were told by the girls who overheard the conversation. There were female athletes who came forward. I remember reporting on it a while back. And now Brooke is saying that the person who heard the conversation did inform the lawyers, yet we were told that there was no evidence. Is that not evidence? A witness statement, an eyewitness testimony? The Mountain West Conference needs to be held accountable, saying that there's no evidence, claiming to have done an investigation, but clearly not a thorough investigation. And then we've got an athletic director who doesn't seem to know much about what was going on at all.
What do you feel about her statement?
I don't know what to feel. I wasn't party to the investigation.
Do you believe she's telling the truth here?
I have no idea if she's telling the truth or not.
Are you aware that she claims that she had a concussion her junior year and she was worried about getting another one?
No.
The Trump administration has launched an investigation into your university over this matter. Are you willing to cooperate and make similar concessions that the University of Pennsylvania?
That's not my decision. Currently, it's in litigation.
When this investigation started,
I'm done.
Were you aware of any?
I'm done.
Were you aware of any evidence?
I'm done.
What evidence brought
Thanks,
you
Jackson.
Wilkie, Farr and Gallagher was the same law firm that represented the conference against the request for a preliminary injunction to keep Fleming eligible for the women's volleyball season and post-season. The request was filed by Slusser and the 10 other former and current Mountain West players and the University of Utah. The investigation and legal battle took place in the same month, November 2024. WFG not only defended the Mountain West against Slusser's request for a preliminary injunction, but the firm is also defending the conference against Slusser's lawsuit, according to a January 25 motion to dismiss. The document was signed by multiple WFG attorneys. That means WFG is defending the conference against a lawsuit that includes the very allegations against Fleming, which the law firm cleared in November. So Konya, the athletic director there, and Tim Heapy actually coordinated interviews in regards to the investigation. So I don't know why he's acting so clueless. So Brooke wasn't hit in the head on October 3. You can only imagine how dangerous that would have been for her, especially as somebody who has suffered from a concussion prior to this. But thankfully she wasn't hit in the head, but she said there was a lot of court open, more than usual.
I don't recall much specifics from the game because I wasn't aware of the situation. I just remember there was a lot of court open, more than usual, when it came to where I was supposed to be playing defense. And I mean, I wasn't going to complain about a block setup because in my head, I'm assuming my teammates are doing the best they can. But yeah, until I'd found out, that's when things kind of started to make sense.
After finding out that it was allegedly purposeful, that the block wasn't there, I was enraged because it could take one more slam to my head and I could be done with volleyball forever. Fleming had 10 errors in the game as SJSU lost in straight sets. Make of that what you will. Melissa Beatty-Smoos said that she noticed Fleming wasn't playing at his best. Close to the end of that set was when Fleming overpassed the serve right on top of the net for Malaya to hit towards Brooke Slusser. And then those two were kind of always doing eye contact and making smirks up to that point. But then, when that happened, they both laughed and Fleming said, "Thank you." And that's when Blaire blew her a kiss, Beatty-Smoos alleged.
Brooke, great to have you on the show. So you came on this program not long ago, and you were talking about your former teammate Blaire Fleming, a trans athlete who's a biological male, met with an opposing player, right, at Colorado State to get the player to spike the ball in your face. And then you talked about that a little bit, and now you have more information. What can you tell us?
It's a situation that I thought the worst of it was having to share a team in a locker room with a man, and then to find out that he's basically trying to harm me physically on the court because he's not happy with me disagreeing with his decision to play on a women's volleyball team put me in harm's way more than I thought I had to worry about, not just in my safe spaces, but while I'm just trying to live my life day to day. And so hearing that these things were going on, and even just on the basis of sharing scouting reports, a player should be kicked off the team. And the fact that that even was just swept under the rug and said it wasn't a big deal shows that there's apparent bias in the situation.
And Melissa Beatty-Smoos also corroborated that, saying that this male athlete was given special treatment. She saw it as clear as day. Preferential treatment over the female athletes. Showing up late to practice, for example, not facing any repercussions. And she said that if the female athletes had done something similar, they would have been penalized.
Okay, so Brooke, and welcome back to you. This is the athletic director, the San Jose State athletic director, Jeff Konya, standing up, walking away during questions when asked about your claims. Watch.
The Trump administration has launched an investigation into your university over this matter. Are you willing to cooperate and make similar concessions that the University of Pennsylvania?
That's not my decision. Currently, it's in litigation.
When this investigation started,
Okay, I'm done.
Were you aware of any?
I'm done.
Were you aware of any evidence?
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm done. Stands up and walks away. What was your reaction to that?
I mean, after watching the entire video, you see that he had no knowledge on the entire situation. They were asking him questions about what was going on, how they pursued the investigation, and he actually had no idea what even happened during that time and had no knowledge of how they had pursued that investigation and who they interviewed and what was said and any of the facts that they say they didn't get to say there was sufficient evidence. So I just think he was put in a corner because he didn't know any of the information. And as an AD, you should know everything that goes on if there's a Title IX investigation at your school.
Surely you should make it your duty to be aware. But when your priority is the male athlete, then is it any wonder?
And that's my question, Brooke. I mean, if the athletic director doesn't know what's going on, maybe it's time for some outside eyeballs to take a look at this.
Exactly. And that's what I said in the past was they didn't even bring in anyone to take a look at film that actually has knowledge of the game. They hired a law firm that was already in a lawsuit against something that I am fighting for, and they're against me. And obviously coming in have a parent bias towards the other side and not what I'm trying to do. And then they don't even bring in someone to look at film. They just go by what everyone else has to say and decide to believe the few people that obviously aren't going to tell the truth in this situation because they know they would get into big trouble.
So the question is, did they want to get to the bottom of it? Or were they just trying to sweep it under the rug and even cover up the true extent of what went on? I mean, this is not the way. This is not the way to conduct competition that is fair and safe for female athletes. Clearly, they're okay with men competing in women's competitions. And that's where the problem lies. And William Bock, he is the lawyer that is representing Brooke. He said it's outrageous, improper and deceptive that the MWC hired the same law firm to both conduct a supposedly independent investigation of its member SJSU and defend the MWC in a federal lawsuit. Hiring WFG to perform such conflicted and mutually exclusive roles suggests that Commissioner Navarez and the MWC had no interest in discovering the truth. Instead, the MWC has long been focused solely upon advancing the interests of SJSU and pushing the narrative that men should be allowed in women's college sports locker rooms and showers and to compete against women in college sports.
Was blessed enough to be able to kind of move across the country to North Carolina to kind of start figuring out my life and everything. But it's been amazing. I've met so many amazing people along the way, and I couldn't feel more blessed right now.
So I hope everything is revealed in relation to this plot. I hope all the information is exposed. And I wish Brooke all the best in everything she is doing. I'm so glad that she is safe and that nothing happened on that day. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves and God willing, I will see you in the next video.